Hey folks, how we doing? It's your boy, DM Cerberus, aka Cerb, aka Kai. And we are back once again with a little bit of D&D for you. So tonight we have a full 5-man party. 5-person party, I should say. We have the wonderful Lethista Letty, played by the fantastic Painter Kitten. We have Perok, our favourite Goliath Battlemaster, played by our good friend Lightning House. We have Michael, the Satyr, blessed by the Fey Magics, played by our very own Razlion. We also have Rain and their companion Seven, the new Artificer who is joined the party, played by Maddie. And finally, we have a member returning to the party. Inara, the Wood Elf Druid who ran off in search or after a scent that they had picked up, played by the wonderful Blue Potato Cat. We do have everyone in Discord ready to go, but before we do get into that, I just want to take a moment to say, hey, how's everyone doing? I appreciate you dropping in. And Painted, Raz, I appreciate both you for the resubs there. I mean, I was just in VC and I said the exact same to you, but again, it is very much appreciated. Like, and yeah, I got no words to, yeah. But yes, hope everyone is doing well, and we are going to go get started, hop into VC, say hello to everyone. We'll get through our downtime, and then we'll get started with the campaign. Tired, can't wait to watch the stream though. Well, I appreciate it, Chaotic. I appreciate it, my dude. After the stream, I will be uploading both episode 5 and this episode up onto YouTube. So if there is anyone that is wanting to keep up with the campaign, has missed a session or something like that, wants to catch up, after the stream, give it a little bit of time, both of which will be uploaded and made public, ready to go by the end of the night. So, without much further ado, we will hop into the VC and say hello. Hey folks, how we doing?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Whoa. Whoa, it's Kai.
Yeah, it's a me. How are we all?
Good.
I am inside your walls.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
All your base belong to us.
Well, obviously we were chatting before the stream and things, so we know kind of what we're going to be jumping into. Before we start the actual story though, of course, we do have downtime to go through. So let me just open up the downtime sheet here. So, as mentioned at the start of this session, everybody gains 7 onto their scores. So Michael, Letty and Perok, you 3 each have 7 because you spent a lot of them on... You were all empty, from what I remember. You had 0 days left, so you now have 7. And Inara and Rain, you both had 7 days unspent last session, so you now both have 14 to use.
Incredible.
That's right, it was because from last session I was saying I was awarding it to everyone regardless if they were here or not, so that nobody missed out. And yes, last session, Rain, you weren't here, and of course Inara, you are just coming back to the campaign. So yeah, I will... who do I pick on first for... Oh, I know how I'll do this.
D6.
Oh no.
Yeah, D6, and I'll reroll the... reroll on the 1. Well, rather than 1, it was a 6, which means it's the person at the bottom of my list. Rain, how are you doing?
Let's fucking go. Is me.
So, of course, we have discussed you being able to use downtime as part of the new system that I've set up here for finding out some information within the different districts in the actual city. I know that we'd spoken, you and I, about perhaps spending just a day or two of downtime learning the city, because you're incredibly new to the city. You quite literally have just arrived within the last day or so. So I know that that was your plan, but you are also working on the skill expert feat, which you can also spend downtime working on. So tell me, what is the plan? What are you looking to do?
Well, I think Rain would, in an attempt to get acclimatized to the city, she would gravitate towards like the most familiar part of town, which would probably be the trade ward.
Yeah, so from when you arrived, the trade ward was possibly one of the places that you went. Not having a huge amount of money, you probably were most likely looking to offer your skills in trade for a place to stay. So a lot of the people there would have been the people you spoke to, considering it's where a lot of the trade and commerce happens, but it's also a lot, the area, words are difficult today for some reason, but it is the area where a whole bunch of crafters seem to gather and actually call home. So it's very much an area that you would feel a slight kinship with the people around, simply from having similar passions and simply crafting something with your hands.
Yeah, and I think it's also just a lot of like that Rain is definitely kind of missing a sense of community, sense, and this is like the closest she can be, without actually being in a community, is more like kind of just observing, kind of like the sort of taking sort of comfort in the feeling of if I can't have it myself, then at least I can see, taking comfort in seeing other people kind of having that sort of interconnectedness.
Yeah, definitely. Wonderful. So are you going to be spending 1 or 2 days downtime?
Let's go with 2. We'll go
Wonderful.
with 2.
So if you'd like to roll 2d4 for me, and then pick one of the 2.
2d4?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that. I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Okay, and would you like to pick option number 2 or option number 3?
I'm gonna take the tree,
Number
please.
3. Okay, let me put a mark against that. Wonderful, so I will tell you that. What I'll do is I'll do the actual kind of rumour and everything that you've heard in character, kind of once we've done the recap. This is just the downtime. You're like, cool, I've spent time to do that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Are you looking to spend any more downtime days in the trade ward, or was that the one attempt that you're doing?
I think I'll go with the one attempt, just because
now.
Rain is still not
Yeah.
super familiar, and would mostly be focusing on trying to better herself to be more equipped for for the things to come. So I will probably use the other 12 to do some more work towards the skill expert.
Okay, fantastic. What was the check that I was asking you to make?
It was a DC 16 intelligence saving throw.
Wonderful. I'll
And
just
I
put
have
next to
a-
it is in saving throw, because I
Yes.
couldn't remember what I was asking you to roll on that.
Yeah, and I have a plus 5 to intelligence saving throws. So I'm just going to roll a bunch of d20s, and all the ones that come up with 11 or better are successes.
Yep, and don't forget that a nat 20 counts as 2 successes.
True.
Wonderful. Well, I will leave you.
Wow.
I'll leave you to count all of that up and stuff, and I will pick someone else on my list. Ooh, who do I pick on next? Let's roll a dice here. Next up is number 4, Parok, my friend.
Hello there.
Just last session, you finished your last feat, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Wonderful. Well, you have the chance to pick something fresh and new. You also have the chance to spend some downtime researching into an area to see what you can find out.
All right. I think we're gonna search heavily into the dock ward.
Okay, cool. Let me just... There's Dockward. Okay, and with your first attempt, are you putting 1 day or 2 in?
2.
Wonderful. Could you roll me 2d8s for me then, please? How many attempts are you doing with this here?
I'm sorry. What was that again?
How many attempts are you doing to find out information of Dockward?
I think I'm gonna do 3 attempts, 2 rolls each.
Okay, cool. So using 6 days.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And that was 2d8. Right?
Yes, 2d8. There are 8 options on this list here.
Okay, well.
It might be slash roll, or you can use the dice roll on the left-hand side. It's the second option up from the bottom. Okay, would you like option 5 or number 7 for your first attempt?
We're gonna do number 7.
Okay, wonderful. So I put a mark on there for that one. Light roll again. 1 and a 2. Which one would you like out of the 2 of them?
Number 1.
Go for number 1. Lovely stuff. Okay, and your next attempt there. 6 and a 3.
We're gonna go with 3.
With number 3. Okay.
And I'm just gonna pocket the last day.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, it's not a bad idea sometimes, is to kind of keep it in the bank just for when you need it later on. Okay, wonderful. So that is all of your downtime, minus 1 day. You've got that for next time. Wonderful. Nice and easy. Thank you for that, mate.
All right.
Let's go ahead and see who's next. Inara. Hello.
Hi.
It's been a hot minute. Of
Yes, it
course,
has.
I will explain everything that has happened to you in character once we do step into character. But if you could tell me, what are you going to be looking to do with this downtime? You do currently have an ongoing skill that you're learning, which is your advanced alchemy, which will allow you to make more potent potions and such. Or you can use them, as you have seen Rain and Parok do, with certain investigations for downtime.
Let's go with that. Why not?
Cool. And where is it that you're wanting to have a little look into?
Let's go with the field ward.
The field ward. Okay. Let me have a look, because that is not where you said you were going to look, so I'll have to see. Because you had said you were going to look at the Sea Ward when we were chatting off stream. So field ward, let me... It's all good, I've got to make something for it anyway. Give me a second. I'm just trying to... I've got to think of what's happening there that you may hear about. How much downtime are you spending looking into the field ward there?
We'll do one day.
Okay. If you'd like to roll me a... Let's go with a D6. And I'll put... okay, I'll mark that next to that one there. Okay. Is there any other investigations you're wanting to do with downtime, or are you wanting to look at spending more on learning your alchemy skill there?
Sure. We'll do that.
Which one, sorry? You investigating or the alchemy?
The alchemy.
Okay, cool. So that one was a DC 16, and let me just quickly check. I think it was a... that was it. I was doing it as a herbalism kit, wisdom herbalism check. So on the hang on, there we go. On the left hand side of your character sheet, underneath where it says for your passive perception, you will have your herbalism kit there, and it will say query. It will ask you whether to do it as wisdom, dex, or whichever ability score modifier. You'll need to make them as wisdom herbalism kit checks, which will give you the proficiency and then the wisdom, and then yeah, you need to roll a DC 16 to succeed. So yeah, if you just click where it says herbalism kit, it should roll it for you.
And then wisdom attribute, right?
Yeah. And you'll need to do that for... so it's rolling at advantage at the moment. Let me just check. Is that showing on the... Yeah, so you switch that to normal, that's fine. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll ignore that one if you just keep clicking, because that one rolled with advantage. But if you roll, are you going to use all 13 days for this?
Sure.
Okay, cool. You will need to do 13 wisdom herbalism kit checks.
Okie dokie.
Wonderful. Whilst you're doing that, there's only 2 of you left, so odds and evens, I suppose. Michael, you are up next, my friend.
Well.
Yes. I know that you are currently working on your healing light enhancement, which of course we've spoken about. And you are also looking to do some research as well into some areas.
I would like to go into the Field of Triumph to have a look around. That's where I think is a good start.
Yes. Wonderful. I do have... how many is it for Field of Triumph? Wonderful. There are 6 different options there. So, how many days of downtime are you looking to spend doing so?
Just the one.
Just the one. Wonderful. If you would like to roll me a d6 then.
And it's 4.
And it's a 4. Which will put it right there. Okay, fantastic. So you spent the 1 day, and I'll reveal that to you in just a little bit once we finish the downtime. And I'm assuming you're putting the rest of the time into the skill?
You thought correctly.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Wonderful. Whilst you're doing that, and Ari, you're still rolling.
Criticals are double, aren't they?
Crits are worth double, yep. So, finally, and by no means the least, Letty, hello.
I'm sorry, that wasn't really quite Lettish, but you know.
How you doing?
Hi. Good, good, good.
Wonderful. So, you are also working on a skill, or rather a feat, the Elven Accuracy feat. But you also have the chance to do some research and downtime into some areas. So,
Yes.
where would you like to look if you're wanting to look, or are you wanting to spend them on improving that skill?
So, we had a bit of a chat about this earlier as well, but I am going to put a day into Dock Ward and use the rest of it for the feat, if that's okay.
Fantastic, yep. So for Dockward, let me see. Because... Okay, can you roll a d6 for me then? And if it's a 1, re-roll it.
Certainly can. Ooh, I'm going to go with this one. Okay. 5.
5, wonderful. So that one is for you right there. Okay, brilliant. So I've made a note of that one for your downtime for the investigation. And then you're spending it on the Elven Accuracy feat, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Wonderful. For that feat, you just need to make bow attack rolls. So you'll have 6 days left to spend on that.
So I do have a question though.
Yes.
If it's a bow attack roll, I do get +2 to my bow attack rolls.
Yep.
So is it +6 or +8?
It would be the +8. It is your bow attack roll.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because it is a feat that is very specifically tied into using ranged weapons, and you have this ability that makes you better at using them, I figured it would only be fair for you to have that bonus. If you were learning a different feat, you wouldn't get the +2 for using bows. It may be melee weapons that you're using where you'd only get +6 rather than the +8. But because it's bows, I figured, you know, it ties into exactly what your actual... There you go, dueling style as well. You've got different damage things that you can do from different styles. So
Yeah.
the fact that you've got a +2 because of the bow, because you're an elf, it actually more than ties in to the fact that you're going for the Elven Accuracy feat. So absolutely go ahead and roll them with the +8 rather than +6.
Julio, I think I
whilst
don't
you're-
have anything.
You,
Yeah, that's good.
once you're
Absolutely
doing
fine, yeah.
that, so
Thank
you got 6 downtime units to use there. Whilst you're doing that, I'm gonna hop back on over to Rain.
Ah,
Hey, how you doing?
I think that's for you to tell me.
Where are your rolls? There they are. So it is intelligence saving throws DC 16. How many of those are successes then?
I got 6 successes. So
6
pretty much
successes.
dead on. Yeah, dead on 50-50.
Fair enough. Well, that will put you up to 11 then, won't it? And you only spent 1 day of downtime looking into things, didn't you? Or did you spend 2?
I spent 2.
Okay. That should still leave you with like 6 days left then.
No, I spent 14.
Oh no, because you would have failed them. Yep. no, that's
Mm-hmm.
all good.
Yes, I spent the 12, I failed 6, and got 6.
You got 6. Okay, fantastic. Wonderful. Well, I've made a note that you are very, very close to halfway through the skill expert now. You're at 11 of 25.
Mm-hmm.
So another, what, 2 points and you'll be over halfway. So yeah, making good pace with that one there. So after Rain, Parok, you didn't have any feats or skills to update, any rolls to do for me, so that's absolutely wonderful. Inara, how many successes did you have on that check there?
A lot.
A lot.
That's looking like 9 out of 13 to me.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. So that means that you are at 25 out of 30 for Advanced Alchemy.
Nice.
Very, very close. You'll quite possibly hit that one next session. Looking at it, to be fair. Wonderful. And that was all 13 that you used for that one, yeah?
Mhm.
Fantastic. Michael,
I am now 13 out of 25.
13 out of 25, and that was all 7. That was the rest of your downtime that you spent.
That is all done, yes.
Wonderful. And finally, and again, by no means least, Letty.
Right, okay, so because in the past I added +6 to rolls instead of +8, I had 3 that had actually succeeded from the past. Okay. So
I mean,
today
yeah, you have. There's been a few times where I've thought you definitely should have been getting more successes. So that's possibly why. Like
Yeah,
we've all commented on the fact that you've apparently rolled so poorly, but I don't think you were adding the +2 to it. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah. So I got 3 extra today, so altogether I'm sitting on 12 out of 25
12?
now.
Fantastic.
So that's everything added together.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that does bring you much more in line with at least Rain. Michael is just over halfway, you're just under halfway. Obviously, Parok got real lucky with some of those rolls and got the tough feat done last time. And Inara is very, very close to finishing off Advanced Alchemy. If it weren't for the fact that she was expanding on alchemy, it would only be 25 successes rather than 30. So if it was just the base level of the skill, she would be done now. But no, next session I think for Inara, if you're lucky with your rolls. And then 2, maybe 3 sessions for Michael, Letty and Rain for you guys to get your next skill. So not terribly far off, I reckon. I mean, obviously it depends on the dice. We don't know how the dice are going to react to anything, but
If the dice gods are kind or not.
yeah, we'll make our prayers for the dice gods and pray and hope that they're nice to us.
I'll just
wonderful,
smidge RN Jesus does not have a PayPal you can pay into.
so-
There is no pay to win.
Let me have a quick look. I've updated everything correctly. Yeah. Wonderful. So yes, it is just Parok with 1 day left that you're saving, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna save it and then I'm just gonna pocket it for right now.
Yeah, it means next time that you get rewarded some that you'll have 8 rather than 7. So if you're using them to research anywhere, then you've got a better shot of it. Wonderful. Well, I can close downtime there then. there. So, just a little recap before we do dive back in to our game here. So, last session, folks, the party, guided by Zardud, headed through the city, finding themselves outside of a quaint little cafe. Inside were three friends of Zardud's. After making sure that you were all safe, you all rested for a short while, being fed and given drinks by Appy and Thillen, the halfling and half-elf couple that you've met. After Zardud had rested a while, and regained his composure to come back to consciousness, you all had a long conversation, sharing information about the one called Raphael. Now, today we start off with your plans, or what you've uncovered via your downtime. Let me just get that one open there. So, we're going to start with Perrock because I've just opened the dock ward section first. So Perrock, whilst you've had some time to stroll around, having a look at, you know, just checking out the area, speaking to some of the locals and things, sitting in some of the bars and just keeping an ear out, you did hear that you've heard a couple of rumours actually. One of the ones that you've heard is one of the shipping crews, the Dwarven Forge Sailing Company, is running late on their payments to the dockmaster, who's actually now impounded their ships. Another rumour that you've heard, you actually heard this one not in one of the taverns, but whilst you were walking past one of the open markets that you can find within the dock ward. There's a fishmonger who was speaking to one of his local customers, it looked like, who had seen some thugs in the street in the early afternoon. And from what he said, there may be a badge that they all seem to wear, an insignia that, when he mentions it, you recognise and remember. And finally, whilst doing all of this, you actually bumped into an old drunkard, a rather old human man in one of the taverns, and he kind of looks you up and down and asks you a couple of questions, and you respond, you answer, you ask him a couple of questions, and he tells you a little about his life. He was a privateer in many years past and such, and after a little bit of time you kind of develop a little bit of a friendship with him. In the future, this man will be able to help potentially gather rumours and information for you, and can act as an ally or contact within the dock ward.
Alright, sounds good.
So if you could just make a note of Badger, the old drunkard. He is your contact within dock ward that you've met.
What was his name again?
Badger,
Alright. Got it.
like the animal. Wonderful. Was there anything you wanted to check on any of the rumours I mentioned there? Anything you didn't hear or wanted to note down?
I will hold off until our crew regathers to relay the information.
No, that's all good. However, Perrock, you weren't actually the only one that was searching through the dockyard, the dock ward. Letty, as you head into the dock wards, you hold yourself proud, standing out a little bit, you know, a wild wood elf that walks with the power of nature behind her, walking through this highly civilized area. You tend to stick out, and as such, the dockmaster at one point doesn't stop you, but kind of looks over inquisitively and strikes up a conversation. And after a little bit of time, you have a pleasant enough conversation. And he does say if you have any inquiries or anything regarding the dock wards, then he would be more than happy to help. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that he may be able to offer. You know, he may be able to advise what ships would be best for any travel or anything like that, any discounts, or, you know, he's just there to hang out and help out. If you need something, you now can speak to the Dockmaster, whose name is Doc, and he will absolutely be able to help you out. He is also, as the NPC that he is, he may also be able to gather information on other districts, so other areas of the city, due to his network of contacts through his trading that he has.
Ooh, ace.
That is something that over time you would have to spend some time in session going to him and kind of spending a bit of time asking him to do you this favour and maybe doing him a favour in exchange. But he may well be able to recover and provide some information from anywhere specifically that you're looking from in the city.
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
That's quite alright. So yeah, make a note of Dockmaster Doc, and that's DOC for his name. His parents had high aspirations. He did not live up to that. But yeah, that is his story. And you'll be able to go and, like I said, speak to him if you need anything. He is your contact in the dock ward.
Brilliant. Okay.
Wonderful. So the party have spent a little bit of time progressing, learning a bit about the dock ward now. It wouldn't be considered a safe area just yet. There are definitely things that you would need to do within dock ward to ensure that it is safe. But you are definitely well on your way to finding out how to do so and what needs to be done. But yes, very good job, you two. We then had the Field of Triumph here. So, Michael.
Hello.
Field of Triumph is possibly the most militaristic of any district in the city. The district contains both the actual Field of Triumph as well as various buildings used by both the guard force of the city as well as the military that's directed from the city. The architecture is kept fairly plain and simple but clean and functional, and a lot of the atmosphere reflects the drive of the people to perform their role, do their duty. There's very much this get up and go kind of drive that seems to almost influence the atmosphere here. And as you are here, you're speaking to people, making friends, just being jolly and polite and good-hearted as you find it so easy to do. And as such, you actually hear some people talking of a new star rising through the ranks in the arena. And you actually hear them whispering between themselves, debating whether he'll reach and challenge the champion of the Field of Triumph or not. From what you know, the champion of the Field of Triumph has been the same person for many a year, and is an elven paladin that commands the army from here in Waterdeep. They are actually the champion of said arena. So the fact that people are talking about this new star rising up and potentially being good enough to challenge the champion, that kind of sticks out, and it's like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, just maybe an ally.
Interesting little tidbit for you there. Wonderful. We then have... Okay, and then we have... Where has it gone? Need that one. Okay, so next up we have Field Wards. So Anara, you've headed up to Field Wards, an area that you've heard that Raphael has been acting in previously. Back 20 years ago, with the information that Zardud has provided, this used to be almost a hotspot. And perhaps looking for danger, or perhaps looking to try and make an impact and find out as much as you can, you decided to head north and look into the field ward. As you do so, you speak to a few people around. A lot of people notice that you aren't city folk, let's say, and through a lot of their time spent in what are the slums of the city and field wards, the people respect that you aren't one of the city dwellers that looks down on them. So speak a little bit more openly, a little bit more plainly to you than they would have to other people. And you do hear a couple of rumours, or the same rumour coming from a couple of taverns, who reported seeing strange figures alongside some thugs in the area. Now, seeing thugs is fairly usual. There can sometimes be roving gangs in the area, but seeing these strange figures with them, they were wearing rather dark robes, and there was a badge they were wearing, a symbol. And as they described the symbol, you recognise it. You recognise it as the symbol of R for Raphael, the one that you've seen on the thugs previously. With this knowledge, you decide you can't do this alone. The previous encounter that you'd had with the party was about a day or so. I think it was it about a day? I can't quite remember in terms of...
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's been about a day since you left the party following the scent that you had picked up. And as such, you found yourself in Field Ward, found out this information, and realised this is much bigger than just one person. The scent you were following has come to a dead end. You can't follow it any further. And so with that, you decide it's worth going back to the group that are looking to deal with the same person that you were interested in finding right now. And it takes you a moment, because you don't know how you're going to find them, how to contact them. And after a little bit more time, you turn back into your wolf form, hoping for some form of inspiration, something that your elven mind wouldn't think of that the wolf one may. And you don't think of it, but you smell it. Someone who is an outsider to the city, similar to yourself, that walks with the power of nature behind them. And after following this scent, you find yourself in front of a quaint little cafe. Once I've gone through everyone's rumours and such, we will start by you entering said cafe. And then finally we have Rain. So, as you are in the trade ward, searching around, looking for, information, speaking with traders and such, you strike up conversation with a rather large, I wouldn't say old, but probably around mid-50s, human guy that owns a general goods store. He is a crafter. You see him actually working with some leather, something that you yourself have done before. You ask him about the tools that he's using, and he shows you some tools that you haven't seen before. These are slightly more, not mainstream, but more in line and in theme with Waterdeep rather than Chult, your home. So things like strip cutters or thonging cutters for leather. You would simply just use a knife or another implement. That he has a very specific tool that he can set to a specific distance to be able to strike it perfectly, kind of thing. He has just fancy tools and such, and through that conversation you strike up with him. He seems kind of enamoured by this passion of crafting that you have. As part of such, he offers for you to come back and speak with him again, absolutely. is there anything that you are going to be asking him about, or anything that you're going to be mentioning about your current state of affairs with him? Or are you very much wanting to find out about him and not reveal much about yourself?
I think it's definitely Rain would frame it as, you know, being someone who's new to the city, like what would you suggest like would be a good step for someone to look into kind of getting more sort of acclimatized to the city, and also what does he think I should look out for?
Okay, yeah, so on that note, he specifically names a few crafters, of which he would be able to procure any kind of artificing supplies you may need for you. So, and such, he will act as a contact for any artificing goods that you need. It may take a day or so for him to be able to get hold of such, but he would be able to do so. He advises you that it's probably best to stay away from maybe the castle wards, because that's where the very fancy and rich people live, and they are very trying to think of the best way to describe. They are very up themselves if people from outside of their class go into their area of the city. I was trying to think of a nicer way to say that, but I was just yeah, no.
You don't need to tell me twice, buddy.
They are very rude about it. So he warned you about that. He says that he kind of warns you of just general crime can typically be found up in field ward and things, so to avoid the area unless you don't have any other option. But yeah, he kind of points out a few people just around in the area that, you know, may be able to help with anything that you need specifically as a crafter. But yeah, other than that, he does mention to just keep an eye out and be careful in trade wars. There are some people that will cause a bit of trouble for some of the businesses that seem to come around in the late afternoon. Kind of, he explains, around 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon, evening. There seem to be these a difficult lot is how he describes them as. So he does just say, just keep an eye out, be careful, don't draw any unintended focus on yourself in front of any somewhat shady looking characters that are wandering around the trade ward at that time.
Hell yeah. Also, I was told that my mic is sounding different.
You're
is
sounding
that
better
true?
now.
Oh, okay. I didn't do anything, so I don't know what happened.
I
but
don't
thank
know
you
if
for
you'd
letting me know.
leaned back slightly from your mic previously.
Nope, it's stuck in the same position, like an inch from my mouth.
I don't know
Weird.
then, but it is absolutely fine right now.
Yay! I love technology. I love how easy to understand and how consistent it is to use.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, on that note then, you all are resting in the Gold Leaf Cafe, the place that you had been led to by Zardud himself, and owned by Thilin and Afreen, or Appy, as she has said to Affy, sorry, has said for you to call her. You are currently resting, just sat inside the interior. And just for a quick description for those that hadn't had description last time. So the exterior of the cafe itself is a charming little cabin with a thatched roof styled to look like large leaves, as well as cobbled stone bricks that fit all around the exterior. You also see, hanging outside the front, is a rather large sign shaped like a leaf, painted green, and in gold cursive writing, the words "The Gold Leaf" adorn the sign. Inside, the interior is softly lit by ethereal hanging lights, glowing in shades of yellow and green. There are seats and tables of all heights and sizes, designed so that the cafe can comfortably seat all races and all varieties of people. As you guys already do know, you do have Thillen, the half-elven baker, and Afreen, the halfling chef, as well as you met somebody called Patrick last time. Patrick Stewart, who is the sentient ironclad cooking pot.
I send you to jail. I send you to jail for your crimes.
And so, we will pick up with all four of you sat resting. So Rain, you are with the party currently still. I know you weren't here last session, but you came along to the cafe. And
Yes.
Anara, you are currently outside of the cafe. You have just reverted back to your normal form, your elven form. And the scent that you were following, the one that reminds you so much of nature and of of Letty that you've met previously, leads inside.
Nice.
Wonderful. Well, I've done a lot of talking, so I feel like it's time for me to kind of sit back for a moment and let you guys actually say something. I feel like I've taken up too much time and you guys haven't said anything yet, so there you go. That is the moment that we re-enter back into. The door swings open, and Nara, you are entering, and the rest of you are sat around a table. You all know the rumours and everything that you've picked up. Of course, with the downtime, it's slightly more conceptual rather than being in the moment of where we pick up from the session. But yeah, you will have your rumours, your information, and I'll pass the mic over to you guys now.
Can I get a quick clarification on something, Kai, just for my own notes?
Yes.
The Gold Leaf Cafe, is that the sort of leftmost green dot on the map?
Yes. So just to clarify on the map there,
So
yes.
it's in the dock ward.
Yes, the cafe is just inside the dock ward, just outside of the south ward. The dot within the south ward is the tavern. I don't know if you haven't been inside the tavern, so you wouldn't know much of it. But I know out of character that you know of the tavern. Of which Zardood has the deed and owns. It was purchased by the veteran group that he was a part of, but as unfortunately the only survivor of that group, the deed has now fallen to him in his possession. So that area is there in South Ward. Because of everything that's happened in South Ward, it has now been made safe. You have driven out Raphael's thugs and his influence in the area. So yes, that is kind of the map as it is currently. And I can't remember if I've mentioned it to everyone, but the purple dot in the trade ward is Mikael's Unknown Arcanum, the magic shop with the Celestial Azamar that you have all met, who is a wonderfully kind and sweet and good man. He's wonderful. He's
Why do you
great.
say it like that?
He's a good
Because
boy.
you've had suspicions of him, and I want to play on that. Is he good?
He's
Is
never
he
done
not?
any.
Well, he is an
I
Azamar.
think he's absolutely fantastic.
This
Yes,
is why we
Michael
have
is
trust
smitten.
issues.
This man has never done anything wrong in his entire life.
Exactly, he is fine. Leave him be.
He's
Okay.
perfect. He's perfect and I love him. Fuck you.
And
Don't talk to me or
Any
my
spare
son ever
gold,
again.
anything we throw at him.
and of
So,
course, yes. On that note, over to you guys. Over to you, folks.
Got a question. Is this the next morning then, or have a
Yes.
couple
So
of days
I'll
passed?
say what I'll say is this is the next day. So you've rested overnight. I know that you had a week's worth of downtime that happened overnight, but we're just going to go with it because it's more of a conceptual thing, the downtime.
It's the afternoon. We've done some very busy mornings.
Yes, it's
That's
been a busy
absolutely
morning.
fine.
You've all returned. It is, I'd say, early afternoon, probably around 2:30 in the afternoon. At which point,
Sheesh.
in walks
I can-
Anara.
I dude must have been putting in work and getting wasted. Been in 2 taverns.
Inara's returned.
What I would say, because last time we left it, Letty was quite adamant. Like she was like, we're going straight to northward. We're going to like go into the beast of the belly of the beast. That's the one. And she has now decided to do a bit of investigation in the dock ward, because overnight she had a bit of a chance to reflect, calm down, think, and listen to reason. Basically, think back of everything that Gemgwin had taught her. So she would have kind of like come down in the morning, whether anyone was down there for breakfast or not, but then headed out and done a bit of a stroll in the dock wards, meet up with Doc, find them, and then probably done a bit of shopping because she's realized that she is sticking out like a sore thumb. So she would have got some gear that is more suitable for the town. So I don't know if we want to do that shopping bit or if we can just say like deduct gold and like here are your boots.
I mean, if it's just basic clothing,
Yeah.
I can't even remember specifically how much something like basic clothing would be.
Probably like 3 silver or some shit. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
thinking that. Let me just have a quick.
Just
look.
basically to say that Letty's not walking around barefoot in the town.
Yeah, like you weren't barefoot, but a lot of the clothes and armor that you are wearing stand out as someone who has made it themselves
Yeah.
out in nature rather than using normal stuff. There you go. A set of traveler's clothes. Costs 2 gold, and that contains boots, a skirt or breeches, a sturdy belt, a shirt, and an ample cloak with a hood.
Brilliant. Okay, so
So 2
we'll
gold, and
just
you'd have a
say-
change of clothes. Yeah.
yeah, that's absolutely fine. I will deduct that and say that
Wonderful.
Letty's now looking like she like still have her armor and everything on and keep her gear and stuff, but just the clothes that she's actually wearing are more suitable
yeah.
for the town.
Yeah, you fit in a little bit
Um,
more, just visually.
Yeah.
I like to imagine Letty's like, haha, now I blend in perfectly. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
the camera pans over to her and she's giving everyone who even looks at her like the most death stare like
Yeah, yeah.
possible. Like she's like
Yeah.
2 seconds away from going on a killing spree. Like
Yeah, like hair's
Pretty much.
messed up, the armor's still like covered in blood, and she's like feral, glaring at people whilst in these like normal clothes, just like, try me, I'm from here, I dare ya. That's exactly how I see it.
She has like 7 layers of bags under her eyes because she's not slept because
Yeah.
she's just so fucking mad about Raphael.
And then I would like to pick up, and I will kind of like, I don't know how much of this stuff I will need, but there's a spell that I have called Protection from Good and Evil that needs either holy water or powdered silver and iron, which the spell consumes. So however much I would need to have like, 3 chargers or something like that.
Let me have a very quick look at something. Spells. Sorry, I've taken over your character sheet for a second.
I can ping it. There we go.
Okay, so they don't have a cost. So if you have an arcane focus, you would be able to cast this spell through an arcane focus. I don't know if you have one.
Rangers actually can't use arcane focuses, I don't think. I think they need to use component pouches.
I've
That's
always
what I would've
hand-waved
thought.
that. If you want
To
to
be-
use components,
to be
you
fair,
are
they're
more than
like-
welcome to. But I'm you know, a natural arcane focus. I would be more than happy to hand-wave that and let you use it if you did just want to go with the arcane focus. So it's your
Okay,
choice.
I-
I will- I
They're
will come up with-
mechanically like identical, so it's
They
like,
make
it doesn't
literally
Yeah.
no
really
difference. It means
fucking
that you
make-
just don't have to be like, I need to specifically pick up this item or that item.
Yeah. Okay.
If it
that's
has
fair.
a
Oh well, like
cost, then you have to buy
the
it.
component.
But if it doesn't have a cost labelled next to it, I always kind of hand wave it and say, if there's no cost, then you can use an arcane focus in replacement as that. It's just something to focus the magic through.
Brilliant. Okay. I will find something then. And then after she's kind of like gone through the shops, glared at people, you know, not made friends. Letty will just head back to the cafe and bump into Inara on the way in, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The other three, are you three currently in the tavern, in the cafe after your morning's activities, or are you still returning?
So,
I am still in the tavern. Yes, I went out this morning and found my stuff.
Fantastic.
So Rock, having a kind of a weird night, he decided that he wanted to get up on an early morning and go out, just start exploring the dock ward. He just had a feeling that, you know, maybe there's something there, and he had quite the eventful few hours, having bumped into a couple individuals, learning some new information, being brought into a tavern or two and having a drink or two, just because apparently these people thought he was just kind of being the big guy. He was kind of the friendly guy to come in, just kind of take a drink. So he's returned to the tavern, and he is now drinking out of a small little teacup, which looks minuscule in his big hand. And
Just to
Why is he
check, Affy did ask you if you wanted a larger cup, you just refused and wanted the small teacup. That's what happens there.
Out of politeness, really. It's just like, no, I'm good, I'm fine.
No, this is absolutely fine, thank you.
And so he takes the sip of the tea. A little bit of a bitterness fills his mouth, and that's when he notices Inara coming in. He goes, it is nice to see you. It has been a minute. And kind of looks back down at the small little teacup, realizing he had just drained it all in one shot.
It's basically a shot glass in your hands, let's be honest.
And he kind of looks up and looks to the other individuals, and he goes, "You will not believe the day I have just had." And he kind of looks, waiting to see if anybody were to respond.
Rain will poke her head out from the kitchen, where she has very much been insisting that she has to help, because she is taking advantage of another's hospitality. Therefore, if she does not help, then she has failed. So she is like very much like fucking like rubber apron on, just like comes out with dishes she's washing.
Yep,
Just
I was
like-
going to ask, how good is Rain at cooking?
I'll fucking know. I mean,
Has she done much cooking in the past?
I imagine she would have. She's not proficient with chef's tools, though. She's proficient with every other tool in existence. It feels
Except
like.
chef's tools,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Why
that's
would
fair.
Why would I take chef's tools? Chef's tools are silly.
That's all
No,
good,
I
carry
did. It absolutely, like, I fully had chef's tools as one of her proficiencies before I changed it last minute. So
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's more like she's just been helping to
Yeah.
clean
That's fair.
and stuff. She's just been like very apologetic.
She's been like, look,
so-
I'm going to help you, and they're like,
Yeah,
dishes?
Yeah, it's like you fully can't stop me. Congratulations, you are being assisted. Do not do not resist.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And yeah, she'll just sort of like come out of the kitchen, and just say, have you learned anything?
Rock kind of
Well,
speaks.
I've somehow made a friend.
You made a friend. I made a friend too.
It, mm, okay. I mean, in fairness, it would probably be a bit more easy for you to make a friend than for me, so that is not the surprising part.
Well, yeah, I've
Point points at Inara. Is this the friend?
Oh, she's a friend as well, I suppose. She's a different friend.
Inara is a good friend. Inara, did you make sure those people you were following left the city, yes?
Anara is just gonna pull up chairs, sit down at the table with you guys, and train left the station without me.
Well,
Forgive me, it's been a minute.
just nod your head, yes.
And she looks up, just goes, "Oh, yeah, I did. I also found some other things out as well."
It
What'd you
seems you've all
find?
been busy.
Well, I can't really say that I've talked with some people, but I have seen a few people with a certain mark that we all might be interested in.
let me guess. The familiar are
Yes.
and chewing gum bacon or something. Brilliant.
Wow, that's interesting because I met a guy who seen something similar. Little kind of an older man in a tavern, and oh, hold on. Oh, there was I've got my stories mixed up. There was an individual down by the docks who mentioned that he's seen but these guys and gals that kind of look like thugs, like ones we kind of maybe ran into, but a little more I guess less organized. But he noticed that they had the same kind of badge that we've seen several times already.
Fletty kind of keeps on chewing on the bacon and just asks, was this Doc? Are you talking about Doc? Because Doc is my person.
Oh no, this is just a passerby, and I guess he was a fishmonger. I guess he maybe buys and sells fish, maybe goes fishing. I'm not quite sure, but apparently he's got eyes and ears that seen some things. That's just one of the things I've noticed.
Well, I've had a chance to kind of like think about things since yesterday. Like, takes a little drink of a cup of tea that is in front of her.
Takes a little
So,
sip.
yeah. As you said, Michael, and I hate to agree with you over here, but
Oh,
we cannot simply just wander into the nest because we're probably going to get swatted down like flies. So
doesn't mean we
I'm
can't
going.
hurt them where we can.
Yeah. So easy does it. Baby steps. It's something that I'm working on. Okay, it's something that I'm working on. So how about? And this, like, if this is okay for you guys, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But how about we start working our way upwards. So it seems like our friend Parok over here has found some people in this ward here, and if we check in with Thielen and Daffy, maybe they can help us as well, and then we can just see if we can start doing slight damage to Raphael and his organization.
At the mention of her name, Effie does poke her head around the door from the kitchen, just listening in, not interrupting. You all do notice that Thielen is currently out. For those that were here when he left, he set out not long ago to go get some groceries and just bits and pieces that are required for the cafe. But he is currently not there.
Ah, Effie. If we may bother you for a second.
You're right, love. What's up?
I'm just wondering, do you need help with anything over here? I mean, you know, obviously we're all very new to Waterdeep, and you're a local lady. So, would you be able to maybe direct us somewhere? Is there a particular help that you need help with? Have you heard anything?
And she kind of thinks for a minute and kind of rubs her chin. Well, I can't think of anything that myself or Thielen would need. We're pretty well set here, but if you're talking about people just from in the area, there has been like just this local rumor, legends, that if you sail out to Hope's Rock at the middle of the night, a fey creature will appear and grant your heart's desire. I have no idea if it's true or not, but a couple of fishermen came in the other day and were talking about it, and I mean they had the money to match.
At the mention of the fey creature, Letty kind of like narrows her eyes a bit and looks over to Michael, but doesn't say anything.
Immediately throws shade at the members of your party.
Can I make an
oblivious to
an
this
insight-
stare.
can I make an insight check to pick up on the rancid vibes going on?
You can absolutely make an insight check.
I got a 7.
Yeah.
You see
I am a
Letty-
picture of pleasantry.
Yeah, you see Letty glance over to Michael, but by the same token, Michael may have moved, and it was just kind of a quick glance over at what moved. It's hard to tell. You saw that Letty looked at Michael, but you don't know what triggered that look.
Rain has come to the conclusion that there is a deeper relationship between these two. What form this takes, she is unsure, but she has catalogued this.
We are best friends and nothing else.
exactly. Rain is like she
you'll
looks.
get away.
Rain is like she looked to you for assurance. She looks up to you. You are her father figure.
I have done nothing to upset this woman in my life. It exists.
That's all that is needed. All that is needed.
I
Well,
love it.
I want to say that what I found out as well, just so in case we've got all the options down, it's not as substantial of what you have all found. But there, up in the, what's that ward called? The Field of Triumph, that's it, one of the Colosseum. There is news of a up-and-coming champion, well, hopefully future champion, that is making the rounds of being about to be able to challenge the current champion, who is been, well, the champion for, I'm saying champion a lot, I apologize, to take on the champion who is been there for quite
It's
some
okay, it's
time.
old age.
I tell you, I am old. Yes. All right. Shush. Either way, the current champion is a elven paladin who is also the commander of the armies of Waterdeep. So anyone that can even remotely touch the gentleman or person, whoever they are, I feel like would be a good person to know, sponsor, patron, or convince to our side.
Did you happen to get any names?
Unfortunately not. I'd have to do a bit more of a... I'd have to go and watch one of their fights, I think.
Okay.
Brock
Fair enough.
thinks for a moment. Goes names. I know somebody, but I know a guy named Badger. I actually met him this morning. Apparently he's a pretty interesting fellow. He's actually just down the road here, just a little bit, and he might be able to help us out, kind of figure out, kind of what's kind of ins and outs of the dock ward. Maybe kind of get us maybe another lead, try to figure out what's going on.
Well,
Well,
for
I
my
mean-
part, I found that there are apparently thugs harassing the merchants in the trade ward in the evenings occasionally. I didn't get any confirmation if these were affiliated with Raphael, but it is possible that those are his agents and they are acting within the trade ward.
It is next door to us here. It's easy to get to, and if we make a mistake, we can run back.
This is true. I also made a contact with a general store owner there, who seemed affable enough to to organize any purchases we might need to make. He mostly mentioned materials for crafting work that I might do, but I suppose the option is there for other things.
You do also know, yeah, he's the owner of a general store that sells all sorts of travelling supplies and such, so he would easily have access to anything.
So
Does
you'll
this
say
store
we use
does this
these-
store have a name?
Not yet, but it will. I will
General
come
store.
back to you on that one.
The Golden Goat.
You know what? Why not? The Golden Goat.
Haha.
Trade
I have
wars.
control of this campaign now.
Uh,
Haha.
So I need to add. a
Oh
note
wait,
of-
no, the Golden Goose. The Golden Goose.
So, Rain, what I'm hearing is that if we manage to make their lives easier, they might be able to help us.
It is definitely possible. Unfortunately I didn't get any more information beyond that. I mean, if we are interested in helping in general, like you said, it is close by. Potentially, it could be an easy way to start. Take it one step at a time. We don't need to become overwhelmed too quickly.
Brock kind of listens in, kind of takes everything in about the trade ward and the field, the Colosseum, and then he kind of remembers back from his training and kind of realizes that in order to be able to properly function, you need to have a secure base to be able to operate out of. And finally speaks up and says, well, I do think helping out the trade ward and helping the various other areas would definitely be beneficial. But we have people here at our doorstep that may potentially be knocking at any time. And I think that we should probably try to solidify our position here first before moving out to other areas.
As you say this, you all hear a slight cough. The cough comes from the doorway, in which you know that Zardood is within the room. Leaning against the doorway, watching you all, is Zardood. He has remarkably recovered, seems to have regained a lot of colour to especially his face from where it was extremely pale from the torment that he went through. and seems to have regained some of his strength. And he kind of looks out and kind of smiles and nods at what Parok was just saying. Having a place to work from is definitely going to be the best bet. I do have a suggestion on that. And he kind of limps slowly over to the table. He's not fully recovered, but you can see it's a lot less laborious than it was even just the day before, where he was pretty close to death's door, honestly. He was rough yesterday. He went through a lot, but he has recovered really quite well. He takes a seat and pulls out a scroll from his bag. It's the deed to the tavern, the one you found me in.
And what did you do?
Well, myself and the other vets bought it. We all pulled in money from our own savings, from what we had. But I'm the only one. So look, if we can use it in our fight against Raphael, the fucker who caused the rest of them to... And you see he pauses and kind of collects himself for a moment. The fucker who caused what happened to happen. Then I'd be glad to see some use being made out of it.
Gotta take
You
it
will
back
pay,
first.
don't worry.
When we left, it was cleared. Hopefully they haven't gone back.
Well,
No, we kicked their ass good and proper a couple of times at the South Ward there. I reckon we've done some good work.
Okay, whereabouts actually is the... We're in this one, aren't we?
Yes, you are in the dot that is in the
Okay,
dock
sure,
ward. Yes, the one that's in the South Ward is the tavern.
I'll turn to the rest of the party and be like,
we've got a choice to make, and we're burning daylight hours, and we've got to start acting quickly. We are going to be on Raphael's radar earlier rather than later. Where do we want to focus on? Trade ward, dock ward, south ward. That's the thing I think what we should be doing.
Well, the way that Parag said, it would be good to make our home safe before we head out. And because we know that there are his thugs in this ward, I'd be keen to start from here.
So strike from this place into the trade ward?
The docks.
No,
Docks, sorry.
Okay.
docks, yeah.
There's quite a lot of thugs around. I'm getting confused of which ones we'll be aiming. Having a dock that's free of his influence would be useful for us because we get access to the sea and possibly to other interesting routes and avenues. I'm in
Well,
favor of
Brock,
that idea.
Brock, he listens and goes, "Speaking of that, I told you I had a very interesting morning, and I found these dwarven fellows who their ship's been impounded, and I'm pretty sure that if we were able to help them, that might open up an avenue to maybe get some additional resources in."
I've had an idea. If we can find out what type of reason they've been for impounded, we've got a mass lord that's willing to help us, right?
I'll do you one better, friend. I know the dockmaster. I'm sure that he would be able to shed some light into this.
Well. Sort of like make a big smile and stand and be like, I think we've got a little avenue of action to take.
And at this, you see that Zardu, just with a big smile on his face now, kind of leans back in the chair, just looking at each of you. It's been a while since I've seen a true adventuring party, but I recognise it right here.
have a big smile.
Who doesn't love a bit of adventure?
And I'll look towards Parok and to Letty.
I think you two had best take the lead on this, though.
Rock kind of looks at him and goes, I think that might be a good choice. Now, I think the question is, should we all kind of go together, or should we kind of separate in like parties of two or three?
No. We stick together. Not until the city's safer. Can't be isolated.
Yeah, sorry, but if I've learned anything in the wild, once the pack separates, the single ones get picked off.
Well, that answers the question.
Until we've made allies, friends, have resources, and quite frankly, I'm going to say this as nicely as I can, until we are stronger and not as weak on our own, I think going off on our own would tantamount to a big setback, I think.
And a possible death.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid that, but yeah, you're right. I don't want to die. I don't want to go back to the cave.
What? You've lived so long already?
And
Don't you think that it's time?
I intend to live longer still, Letty. Much longer.
Fair enough. So, shall we?
Rock stands up and kind of stretches a little bit, rotating his shoulders. You can just hear a nice little pop out of each.
Right, whilst you all are off doing that, once Dylan gets back, I'll take him and the two of us will go secure the tavern, make sure that it's actually ours to use.
Don't get yourself trapped now.
Trust me, they ain't gonna catch me unaware this time. And besides, I'll have Thillen at my side. The two of us ain't no stopping us.
Rock
Letty
kinda-
gives a glance to their necklaces for a second. Yes, I'm sure.
So
Rock
Thillen
and
still
I-
hasn't returned, but yes, you do remember that he wears a pendant of Corallon. And I can't
Yeah,
remember if
something
you...
around their neck.
Yeah. It's two crescent moons back to back that hangs around
Yeah.
Thillen's neck. But yes, he had made mention of magic, but you don't know what he can do.
Mhm.
But yeah, it seems our dude has full faith in him, and the two of them to be able to simply secure the tavern. And again, from what you know, the South Ward is a safe area. It should be perfectly safe to be able to go and do so.
Rock kind of looks up and kind of listens to Zardudes and goes. He gets kind of a little bit of a chuckle and says, "If worst case scenario, you can always bring Patrick with you. He'll scare off everybody."
Letty gives a little
aye.
shudder at that. Oh, Patrick.
At this point, Affy, who's just been stood listening, goes, "Oh, the stew!" and then runs back into the kitchen.
Damn it! I was about to do a thing where like Rain is like, ah yes, Patrick, like, and then the camera pans around to the kitchen where she's been washing dishes in him.
He's just there screaming and crying, and you're just ignoring him, like, "No, shut up! You're our pot."
I think Rain was
Bubbling
like,
the water like.
I feel like it was more
Oh,
of
I
a thing
love
of
it.
like Rain wants to help. She does not know. She did not like ask for permission. She just went into the kitchen and was like, "This is the pot. This is the one that I use for cleaning," and just fully just blanked out any screams of protest he might have had. And she was just like, "I'm helping." Cleans. Fills him with water.
I love it. I love it.
I waterboard the poor man.
I'll be back real quick.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Well, so yeah, you are all ready to get going. It seems like you have a course of action heading into the dock ward. You are heading to go find the dockmaster then?
Yep. That or go back to the source of the rumor.
Yes,
Alright.
wonderful. Which are you going to look to do first?
I think we should probably try to find the dwarven ship first, just to make sure that it's still there, because you never really know thinking about these rumors. You know, people talk, people walk. So I think we should probably try to verify it first. And if it is there, we might as well, you know, find the dockmaster while we're at it.
Well, I'm sure that he will know which ship you're talking about. So that would kind of like save us from checking every damn one in the docks, which might be helpful.
Parok, you do have the name of the ship and the name of the company. The Dwarven Forge Sailing Company is the name of the company that has had their ships impounded.
You cut out there. What was that?
The Dwarven Forge Sailing Company is the name of the shipping company. Their ships, just from the rumours that you would have heard, you would know that their ships are able to be kind of recognised or identified by the huge anvil in black that takes up the majority of the actual sails that they have. They've all got this kind of very iconic anvil symbol on them.
All right. So Parag kind of mentioned, goes, you know what? I think I remember what they were talking about. I think that it was called the Dwarven Forge Sailing Company, and there's something about a giant anvil on the mast or on the sails. Hopefully, maybe the wind picks up. Maybe we can see it as long as they're not stowed away.
In that case, let's go have a scout. And then you see Letty standing up and scooping something up next to her, again like seemingly thin air, and then just places something on her shoulders and then starts walking out.
Wonderful.
Rain cannot judge. Her friend is a skeleton.
You're
Letty can have her imaginary friend.
not.
Sort of
That's fair.
smile behind her back as I sort of slowly putting together what might be there.
Rock has no clue. He
But
just thinks
not
like, I guess
confirmed
it's.
yet.
He's just like, okay, I guess whatever.
Actually, as you all get up and Letty you step outside, I'm going to steal you into a separate chat very quickly, Letty.
Sure. Ooh, that's exciting.
Oh,
In
God.
stolen?
Oh no, she's doomed.
Hello. So, of
Whispers,
course,
how exciting.
yes. So you have had the fortune of having your very good friend Mew traveling with you for a little while now, and you've learnt to be able to communicate with Mew in a way that other people can't hear them. It's almost telepathic in this kind of connection that you have with them. And Mew actually at one point turns to you, looking at you, and you just hear in your mind, do you want me to keep staying hidden from them? I can reveal myself if you want.
I don't fully trust them yet. I may call them friends, but I'd hate for something to happen to you.
To me? Ha! I'll come back. But no, that's fair. You just let me know if and when you'd like for me to pop up and say hello.
They will love you, don't worry.
And you see a smile creep over Mew's face as you say this. And Mew nuzzles against your neck a little bit and seems to fall asleep on your shoulder.
Letty will just kind of like lean into Mew and then just smile to herself. Like very unusual warmth for her towards this little draconic creature.
This little thing, yeah. Wonderful. Well, that was it. It was simply Mew had a question, so we will hop back over now. I'll drop you back over there. And we're back, folks.
Welcome back.
So before we do jump into anything, I know that I've taken up a lot of stream talking about other stuff earlier. What sort of time are people happy to continue on to?
I'm good for another hour or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I got like another hour, hour and a half.
Lovely stuff. That works
Oh.
really well for me.
I'll go till I drop, which will
That's
will
fair enough.
which will be coincidentally in probably
So-
about an hour.
I do have a quick question. This is maybe we can act now that I can ask Serb this. If the tavern, and maybe it comes out to be fine, could we open it up as an actual business to make revenue, money?
Um,
Or are we planning to keep it more of just a standalone building?
well, it can be used as you would see fit. Just remember that it is technically in Zardude's name, so he is the owner of the building. Because it has been a tavern previously, it would have like the planning permits and all of that, like logistical side would be absolutely fine if it was made into a tavern or a cafe or something similar again in the future. But that would be kind of a conversation you would actually have to have with Zardude to find out kind of what he wants to do with the place, what you want to do with the place, and see what kind of happens between the two, really.
Yeah, I was just thinking more of a curiosity thing as a way
Yeah.
to bring in additional monies for the party, without
mean-
proactively having to complete quests and stuff.
It may well be a way to do that. It would be a conversation with Zardude that you'd have to have. He may get you to do something to help get the tavern up and running, and then may be able to split some of the money that he makes from the tavern with you. Who knows? That'll be a conversation that you can have at some point.
We'll find that out on the next episode of
On Assassin's Creed.
Episode
Melody.
7. Own your own tavern.
Tavern Rescue.
You
Oh, I
become the
love
Gordon
it.
Ramsay, but instead of Hell's Kitchen, it's Hell's Tavern.
Lucky Lord, actually.
Also, welcome back, Kat.
Welcome to fucking Master Chef Waterdeep. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. So yes, all of you have now left the cafe and are heading into the dock ward proper. Can I get perception checks from everybody, please? Since Parok has mentioned the anvil on the sails, you all have a chance of potentially being able to spot them.
I kid you not. I kid you not.
Let's go!
Natural 20.
Wonderful. Well,
It's a 26 altogether.
very nice. Wonderful. Well, Michael and Parok, you do spot some ships that seem to have anvils on their sails. A lot of the sails are unfurled, but are hanging free, so there isn't any tension. They're just sat there flapping. You, Letty, looking at them, see the name of the company written on the side, which is, of course, the Dwarven Forge Sailing Company. And even from where you are, you can not quite make out the words, but you can hear slightly raised voices coming from one of those ships. And as you look towards where that is, it looks to be maybe a captain speaking with another finely well-dressed person. The second person doesn't look to be any form of sailor or traveller, but the symbol, the anvil that has been mentioned, is adorned on their clothing as well.
I
but
point it
yes,
out,
you can...
look over there, and start making my way over there with the speed.
Wonderful. I'm supposing everyone else is following on?
Yep, following suit.
Seems she has the right end of it.
Fantastic. So heading down onto the dock itself proper, you now all step onto a pontoon as not some waves, but just a little bit of swell has it slowly move up and down. You can feel the movement of the ocean as you walk along over to the ship. You walk up the gangway that's been placed there, and as you're doing so, you can hear the kind of not shouting but arguing between the two of them happening. And from what you can tell, it seems to be arguing and disputing this tax that they've been impounded for. One seems to be the captain, as you've already identified there, Letty, and the other one seems to be one of the admin officers, or one of the main people from the actual company side that run it from Dockward rather than out on the ships. And the captain wants to head out because they have deliveries that they wish to make, and the official is simply arguing that they're not allowed, they can't. If they were to try and sneak a ship out, they would be taxed and ticketed for it even heavier than they have already been taxed, which would just put the company out of business. So that's kind of the argument that you're hearing as you're approaching here.
One of you wordy people, can you go forward, because I'm not good with people? And like this takes a step back, just kind of like looking around, like help.
We can aid you, but you can be the one to go speak to the person you know.
Rock kind of mentions, he goes, I'll talk what I know, but you got to find the person that you know.
The dockmaster is not one of them people, so
All right.
great. Okay.
So
What's going on here? She just approaches.
And both kind of almost startled, kind of stop their conversation midway and kind of look over. And the captain kind of raises a hand and gives you a nod. Aye, can we help you?
Well, it seems like there's a bit of trouble here, as in you're talking loudly and stuff. So we were just wondering what's happening.
And the two of them kind of glance at each other, and the captain clears his throat. Sorry about that. Maybe we didn't realise how loud we were being. Just some company things. We can't take the fucking boat out of the. I've completely changed the accent for this guy already. Can't take the boat out of the dock.
Why is that?
Fucking, I don't know. And the captain turns, kind of gestures at the official. He says that we're not allowed to leave because we haven't paid our taxes, but I know that they're up to date. Like, that's what the business does. They pay their taxes, they import things, they export things. They know what they're doing.
Is it possible that this is just a mistake in the books?
I mean, maybe. You'll speak to him. And he kind of gestures to the official. He's just kind of holding his hands up. It's like, it's not my fault. Doc is the one who has raised our taxes, and we can't afford to pay the raised prices. I'm sorry. I don't know who you individuals are, but the captain here needs to see reason. We have to do things by the book. If we cannot afford to pay our taxes, we cannot afford to send ships out. If we do, and we're caught, our business goes down the drain.
Who's raised the taxes? The government? The Master Lords?
Apparently, this has come from the city government. The dock master said that the prices have been raised. There's nothing I can do.
I think
Parag
we
kinda-
talk to the Dockmaster, don't we, Parag?
Yeah, he's after speaking, he goes, "Are these taxes being represented in a way that are actually benefiting the actual docks here, the people here, the infrastructure? I mean, where are these taxes being, if they were to pay?"
I think we're going a bit too in depth here, Parag. I think we might want to go speak to the Dockmaster himself.
Rock kind of listens to. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. We're not talking about revolution or anything here, so let's go
Not
talk to
yet,
the main guy.
we're not.
Letty,
Yeah.
perhaps you should stay with this captain and get to know them.
And I give her a wink, so that only she sees.
We'll only be up the dock.
Just to remind everyone, the dockmaster is the person that Letty knows.
Oh right, sorry, I get this mixed around. Was it? Sorry, was it Parok that knew that?
Nobody knew anyone from this company. Parok heard a rumor about one of the shipping crews that had
okay,
been
mixed up. Forgive.
impounded. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
tell you
sorry
what,
as well.
Letty-
I keep on seeing.
Letty,
the
Parok,
thing.
you go and speak with the dockmaster, and I shall talk with the captain here. Get to know the more influential people that we should be knowing.
Also, just a quick question, out of character here. Is
Yep.
this captain also a dwarf? Or is it
The
a...
captain is a dwarf. The official is a human.
Okay.
Kai,
Yes.
when the official was kind of talking about like the situation, could I do like an insight check to see like to see what his kind of deal is? Like, if he does he just seem like exasperated or like?
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
some-
Absolutely. Roll an insight check.
Maddie, that oi, what's all this thing?
Oi, oi, what's all this then?
That killed me.
That's
I was like-
perfect. So with a 10, you can tell he's flustered and annoyed. Genuinely so. But you can't glean too much actual information about the situation from what he was saying. You can tell that he's genuinely been affected and genuinely annoyed about what's happening. But as far as you're aware, what he said is true. He seems genuinely upset about it. He doesn't seem to be trying to mislead you or act in any way to give any kind of red flag or anything like that.
Okay. Well, if Letty is heading off to find the dockmaster, Rain will say, would you like some company to find this person you know, or are you happy to go on your own?
I will do in a moment, but and Letty turns to the admin person, asking, "Have they been in debt before?"
No. The prices
So this
have
is a
always
first
been.
time thing.
The prices have always been a set thing. It's only recently that this supposed order from the government has come through, and the dockmaster has raised the prices. I mean, as far as I know, everyone else has been affected by it. It just seems to be us that's struggling with it.
So let me get this straight. You know that these particular people here are behind on their tax. You know that this is a
company that
first
I
time
work for,
or a
yes.
new. Yes. You know that this is a new thing. You know that they are good to pay, yet you hold them here.
I'm not holding them. I work for the Dwarven Forge Company. I just work on the land. The captain wants to take the ship out when we're not allowed to. I'm
That's why I'm
telling
saying
him
to
we
you-
have to follow that. We can't go against what the government are saying. Just to clarify, this guy works for the same company as the ship. It's
Oh,
just
so he's
he
like a broker.
Yes.
yeah, he's like
Yes,
the broker
that's why
on
I
land
say-
that deals with everything.
You need to
Yeah,
go and speak
you
with
can
the
still
harbour
go and
master.
Yeah, so it's the dockmaster that's put the that has impounded their ships, as it were. They're just arguing about the fact that they can't do anything about it, basically. The captain wants to be
Fine.
like, fuck it, let's do it anyway. But the official from the office is going, no, we have to follow the procedures. HR will
Right.
hate this.
So
True.
Parag kind of
HR.
feels the vibe, and he looks to the captain and goes, "Sir, you know, I don't know you from Adam, but I just want to mention that there's a lot of probably the royal. I'm assuming there's some sort of royal fleet or some sort of privateering group or some sort of military vessels out there. If they catch wind that you try to run, they're gonna sink you. they're not going to bring you in. So it might be best to hold on for a little bit, and then we'll go talk to some people and try to figure something out.
You make a point. I'll wait for it to be resolved then.
Doc kind of gives him a nod and just kind of like a I forget what I said. Brain fart.
It's all good. You can see that he's frustrated with this, but he's kind of realised this is really his only option, is to just wait for it to be resolved. So yeah, that definitely has helped kind of convince him of that.
Don't worry, friend.
Fine. We'll sort this. And then Letty turns around. Don't worry. The Cheddar crew is on it. And goes to the Dockmaster.
Come again? The what crew?
We have a name?
I don't know.
He
I
runs.
just remember the Cheddar crew from last time because Maddie was in the chat like, "Oh, cheeses." So
The
yeah.
Cheddar crew. I know,
She
we
just
got
walks
cheeses
away.
now. Unless he
wonderful, so
briefly
yes.
saw into the fucking fourth wall and was just like,
Parag gets kind of not here. He goes, like, Shredder crew, that's pretty cool.
I heard Cheddar crew.
But yeah, Letty goes to the Dockmaster.
And
Or at
Rock
least
will follow.
tries to find the Dockmaster.
Yes. So with the fact that you have met him previously, you do know that he has his own office, and so you would simply be able to head to kind of the Dockmaster's office, and you'd most likely be able to find him there. When you do so and you knock, you come face to face with there is a young half-elven woman who kind of looks up to you, and having recognised you, she smiles and says, I'll just let Doc know that you've got here, Letty. You recognise her as Doc's receptionist. When you stopped by the office earlier when you were talking to him, she had kind of a couple of notes to give to him and kind of introduce herself then. But yeah, she stands up and heads into the main office itself, leaving...
What's her name?
Let's call her Sapphire.
Sapphire.
And yes, about a minute later, Sapphire comes out and says, if you'd like to follow... Oh, you've got company. If you'd all like to follow me then, Doc is just through this way.
Thank you, Sapphire.
She kind of smiles, gives you a nod, and then leads you all into the main office proper. If any of you have seen any kind of nautical office or anything like that, this is exactly that. There are charts covering tables, there are charts pinned up on the walls, there are maps, there are tide timings pinned to different spots for different areas. There is all sorts of paperwork in this area, and sitting at a desk looking a little stressed is Letty, your friend, Doc.
Hey up, Doc.
He looks up. Ah, Letty, it's good to see you again. How can I help? And he's kind of rifling through some paperwork at the moment.
Oh, I just wanted to check in. Do you like my new gear? I'm no longer out of town, as you very pointedly pointed out.
And he kind of chuckles, and he kind of glances over and actually takes in your appearance. You definitely fit in much better. I'd say you may still get a couple of glances, unfortunately, but maybe not as many
Better
as you
than-
were.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Listen, I heard that there was some kerfuffle going on the docks about some taxes. Do you know anything?
Taxes with who? Sorry.
It was the Dwarven Shipping Company.
the Dwarven Forge.
Forge Sailing Company. Apparently, they cannot leave because of some new taxes, and there was impoundment mentioned.
Yes, yes. A rather unfortunate business at present time. The taxes have been raised and they've been unable to pay their dues. Unfortunately, with the order coming through to say that the prices must be raised to go towards defences for the city and um, some renovations and just upkeep for the actual docks itself, I had no choice but to apply these taxes. Unfortunately, the Dwarven Forge are the only company that have given me trouble in actually paying them. Everyone else has been able to do so, and because they aren't paying their dues, unfortunately, they're not allowed to use the benefits of the dock.
Rock kind of. I'm sorry, I kind of zoned out for a moment. So is everybody in the room with the?
Yes, yeah, I assumed everyone followed along,
Okay.
unless you specifically said that you were staying at the ship.
Okay. So Parak kind of speaks up and goes, "Was proper notification given to the company prior to the taxes taking effect?"
I, yes, all paperwork was sent as per any company would have received it.
Excuse me, sir. Could I ask you some clarifying questions, please? Just to help me understand the situation.
Uh, Sure.
These taxes, they are paid by the company, not the ship specifically, yes?
Yes, and the company have not paid their dues, so they are not able to use our docks for their business.
How many ships do they have in this ward at the moment?
And he takes a moment and kind of thinks about it. 3, perhaps? Maybe 4? I'm not sure if the 4th is out of commission or not.
And how often do they use the docks?
They use
Like how often they leave and come in?
Well, they will typically use them most days. The Dwarven Forge are shipping various supplies, typically in from other locations into Waterdeep, providing various metals and precious items that a lot of the trade wards are interested in. A lot of their business goes through the trade ward. So they have ships in other locations, I'm sure, but most days they would be using the docks, and there's not much I can do about that.
And is it just the one ship that is wanting to leave at the moment?
I'm sure all of their ships do want to leave eventually, but
But right
I've
now-
heard of just one captain that was looking to leave. Unfortunately, he kind of just trails off, kind of holding his hands up in the air, like, you know, eh.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did the tax go up? Are we talking like 10%, 12%, or are we talking like 10 to 20? That makes a big deal.
So he kind of starts rifling through some paperwork, looking for it, and pulls out one sheet. So yes, as I've got it here, it was a 15% raise on the current tax that they were paying.
Rock kind of looks at him and goes, that's a pretty substantial payment to ask somebody to just come up with it.
And he kind of looks up to you and says, I fully understand this. Unfortunately, I was ordered to do this, and so I've had to increase the taxes.
If we want to
Is-
talk to someone about this, like as to the why and why it hasn't been paid yet, who would we go to?
You would you would have to speak from to someone within the actual city government. I I simply just received a letter with all the official markings and such telling me that the taxes must be raised. It's fairly common practice for me to be informed by letter of any of these things.
Just
But
out
go on.
out of character. What would you say the height difference is between Parak and this individual?
no.
Well, you're like nearly 8 foot tall, aren't you?
Oh, don't go intimidating my new friend.
Well, I'm not gonna
Kill
do that.
him.
I'm thinking about trying to maybe try to do something a little sneaky if possible. Is it if it's possible he could, if Parag could attempt to look at the letter that's in his hand to see for any markings or anything like that? Anything that might be
Okay.
substantial.
Can you make a perception check for me?
Can I aid him by immediately starting to ask questions and kind of pulling his attention elsewhere? Because Rain
know
also
what?
does want to ask some questions.
I'll allow it. Because as kind of he looks up to answer you, he kind of relaxes the paper in his hands so that it sits slightly more open. So yeah, I'll allow it. So whilst you're doing that, Parok, what questions did you have there, Rain?
To help me understand,
Would that be considered with advantage?
Yeah, so that was with
Yes.
advantage.
Would I roll the second time?
Yeah, so go
Yeah.
ahead and roll it. Roll it again. Wonderful.
16 is better than 7.
Yes.
That it is.
To help me understand, the total cost of this tax would be, I would assume, would be much less than the cost of losing an entire ship and possibly its cargo, correct?
Yes, I mean the actual taxes that they are currently paying. The previous one was 120 gold, so it would have been. Oh god, I've given myself an awkward number to work out percentage of.
15% of 120 would be.
It'd be
Uh,
138.
24
yeah,
plus
138.
yeah.
And the price has been risen to 138 gold now.
When was the last time they had to make a payment? Like, is it a yearly thing or?
No, these payments are made monthly, and unfortunately they have come to the end of the monthly term that they had paid for, and it has fallen into the next session, as it were.
So Parag kind of. So is Parag able to see anything on this paper, or?
Yes. So with a 16, as you're kind of looking over this, you do see a lot of the markings and things. All of it does look genuine, from what you can tell. It is a very simple, quite short letter, effectively along the lines of, "Dear Doc, please be advised, at the latest, meet certain decisions were made, blah blah blah, that have resulted in us requiring that the tax has been raised by 15% for any companies using Dockward." Effectively is the wording of it. It even seems that in this letter there doesn't seem to be any specifics as to what that raise is going to, from the glance that you got.
Does it look legit?
As far as you can discern, yes. Parok, you being the one that has seen the paper, from as far as you can discern, they do see. It does see. Well, I'll give it to you all as a group anyway. I'll give you this one for free. It does look like a genuine letter, from what you can see. It has the correct headings. It has the Masked Lord as the signature, which again, because of your interaction previously with the Masked Lord, you would know that that is fairly common for it to be signed as such. And yeah, everything on it looks official, looks correct. It just doesn't say why.
So Parak kind of speaks up once more and says, "So, do they have the original 120 that to make the previous payment?"
I mean, they have advised they can make the previous payment, but unable to make the full payment.
So these guys are saying that they are happy to pay 120 gold, but paying an extra, what, 18 is beyond their means?
Apparently so.
Me think this is strange.
And Doc kind of holds his hands up and is
Is there a rep
So,
for the Dwarven Forge sailing company in Waterdeep?
what was that? Sorry.
Is there a rep for the company in
reputation?
Waterdeep? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from the people that have spent time in the Dock Wars, you've probably heard occasionally of the Dwarven Forge, people just speaking about it in passing. Seems to have a good reputation, doesn't seem to have anything against it. This seems to be the only thing that has made it significant in any of your minds. Otherwise, it just seems like kind of a generally good shipping company.
But like, is there an official person, or like, do they have an office?
So yes, there would be. Sorry, I misunderstood what you meant. So yes,
It's okay,
there would
it's okay.
be. There would be an office to be found. It'd be on the dock front, right nearby. It wouldn't be far to go, and it'd be easy to find with the fact that you know where the ships are, and you know the insignia that the image that's used for the company.
right, and Parak kind of mentions something. He goes, "Just out of curiosity, this new payment, I'm assuming it's going to be like what 138 or so. Is that for every single vessel, no matter what that vessel is, or is it does that price differ depending on the size of the ship, the cargo, the
Varies
reasoning?"
on. Yes, so this is a tax that is on the company. It depends on how many ships, the size of the ship, the type of cargo. So the fact that they
So-
use 4 or 5 ships within our dock and they pay 138 gold a month.
So Parak kind of speaks up real quickly. He goes, "You said this is a company tax, so is this directly towards these individuals and not a flat tax that impacts every single vessel?"
Well, it is a tax of the company that the ships belong to. What the ships use is what they are taxed.
So
If they have
we
more ships, they are taxed more. If they have larger ships that require different equipment, they are taxed more. If they have smaller ships, they're taxed less. If they don't damage the pontoons or anything like that, they're taxed less. There's a lot that's taken into consideration regarding this. Typically, we have a flat fee for each type of ship and each size of ship. So, depending on all of those different factors, the total would differ between different companies. For example, the Red Rose Sailing Company is another one that uses our docks, but they use far more of our resources here. They pay possibly 4 or 5 times the amount of tax that the Dwarven Forge pay.
Listen, Doc, we'll be out of your hair. We're going to, if this is okay with you, we're going to go and talk to these people in that office, sailing company office. But seeing that they've already paid the 120 gold, would you be okay with just this one ship leaving at the moment?
And I would like you to make a persuasion check with advantage for that, Letty. Now, I'll give you advantage because he is your friend. He is the contact that you've made in the dock ward.
One time! The one time! With advantage, I rolled a 4.
Is that
Less
including
than-
bonuses?
Yeah, I have 0 for my persuasion, so.
And he kind
So-
of... I can't let it. I can't let it slide.
So
I'm
Rock
sorry.
kind of watching this unfold and goes, you know what? I'm gonna make some friends. I'm gonna be a good guy today. I'm going to compensate that 18 difference. You said they have already paid the 120, right?
They are willing to. I haven't received it as of yet, but you could ask them to send it over, I'm sure.
I tell you what, like I said, I'm gonna help them out today, and I want to figure this out because this doesn't sound right. A sudden increase in tax, I can understand where they're coming from, but you'll get that money. You'll see. And Harak just kind of just looks at him, he's trying to do his best to kind of like mean mug a little bit, but he realizes it's not really doing too much.
I'm going to put this dice into dice jail. I got a dice jail. Time out. Time out for you.
I sent you to jail for your crimes.
Wait. Oh my goodness, that hat isn't sitting properly. Anyway, continue.
Well, like I said, if I get the money, there is no problem. They can continue doing business. I can't let it slide. It's too important. Sorry.
We understand, Doc. Thank you for trying. So, unless anyone else has any questions.
Where's Michael in all of this?
I'm still.
Right,
Yeah,
sit
Yeah,
down.
Michael's hanging out with the captain. Sorry, what was that, Rain?
I was gonna say, could I? This is my theme for this session. Could I make could I make perhaps an insight check on kind of this whole situation, just to see what this guy is like, just to see what the vibe is like. Like what's like?
What's happening?
Is there,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, make an insight check. And I'll take
I love
into
this.
consideration
I
certain
am-
things.
I did get a 20.
Heck, yeah.
I love having a +1 bonus. Let's fucking go.
Okay, so I'm going to need to steal you into DM secrets, Maddie.
Oh shit!
Two secrets in the same stream.
I'm being finished.
Yeah.
Right, we will be right back.
What?
Hello. You there, Maddie? Technical difficulties? Can't hear a Maddie? Hold on 2 seconds, folks. I think we may have actually lost Maddie there. She might just need to leave and rejoin.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hey!
I'm here.
Amazing. I don't know what it is. It seems whenever I move you into different channels, it breaks. So I might just ask you to hop
Yes.
back afterwards.
It's my fault, probably.
It's all good. So with that insight, a 20 is pretty good going. This man is holding something back. He has managed to skirt around it most of the conversation, but there was something in that last sentence that actually really kind of triggered to you is where he said it's too important. When he said that, it came across as if he has a personal investment in this for some reason. The other thing that you get from this is that there is fear mixed up in all of this. He is afraid of something, but you do not know what. But that last sentence, he held himself back from saying something where he said it's too important.
Do I get the impression that for him it's important that the ship doesn't leave, or it's important that it does leave?
It's important that the money is paid.
Okay.
Whether the ship leaves or not doesn't seem to be a big thing. But this man seems very intent on securing that money for some reason.
Okay.
And
Is there
definitely
any other check like that you think would occur to me to make, just in case that Maddie is like if there's like something that I can make, like an intelligence check to pull together some like threads, because my thinking as a player is that it's very suspicious of this company to be like, no, we physically can't afford to pay this extra money or we'll be bankrupt. Like, it kind of feels like an excuse to like keep their ship from leaving.
Absolutely. What I will say is, I know you didn't roll very high on the insight earlier. What you got from those people was much more genuine than this man in this room seems right now. They seemed genuinely upset at this, and acting as if it genuinely will damage the company with the amount that's been raised. From what you've been told by this man, it's 15%. You know, it's X amount of gold. It's 18 gold in total that's been raised. And they aren't able to pay it. He doesn't seem to be fully honest. You definitely get that sense. And he seems to have some form of personal stake in this matter. What that is, you're not sure of. You would have to question him further. You wouldn't be able to... That isn't something that you could just glean from a conversation. Like, his motivation, you're not sure. But he definitely has some form of ulterior motive, as it were.
Yeah, I definitely think it's something that Rain doesn't want to push, because she knows this is like a contact for Letty, and she doesn't want to burn bridges by like pushing in the wrong way. And also she's aware that she's not the best speaker, so it's like she doesn't know how to handle this delicately enough to make it a big thing. However, she will be suggesting to the party, we should go ask how much the company is claiming that they are being told to pay, because it seems like he's not being genuine. So we need to hear like how much do they say he is asking for, and like get like specific numbers, because we've been given specific numbers now, and like. And if we can, so that way, if we have this specific number from him, if we go back there and say, oh, he told us you have to pay 138, and they say, oh, thank God, that's such a relief to us, then we'll know that actually they were being previously told they had to pay much more, which, could tell us that there is some corruption going on in this thing, possibly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love the direction that you're taking with this, but yes, that is all the information that you found out from that insight. I'll let you move yourself back over, because I don't want it to stop working again. But yeah, if you want to hop back into the main VC. Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome
We are
back.
both back, in fact.
Whoa, we're back.
Welcome back.
Can you imagine?
It's a brand new world.
Yes.
A
Uh,
brand new world.
And with that, I believe all of you were heading back out of the door again.
Yar.
Wonderful. So yes, you
I
all
think so, at least.
yeah, you all leave and gather back out on the street in front of the office there.
As we leave, Rain is going to sort of turn to the group and say, that man, Doc, he wasn't being honest with us. I don't think he was. Something he said at the end caught my notice. He said it was too important that they get the money. He seemed very personally invested in this, and it seems very strange to me that that a difference of 18 gold would bankrupt a company. I am not the best with money, but that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. So this man Doc, he's claiming that they are to pay, what, 138 gold now? I think we should go ask the company how much they claim they were being asked to pay. I think he may have asked for more from them. I don't know why, but I think it could be a good thing to make sure that the stories line up straight. And if they say that they were previously asked for more, if we tell them, oh, well, we were told that you only have to pay 138 gold, if they then say, oh, thank goodness, we can afford that and it's not as bad as we thought, then we know that we were lied to by Doc. Does this make sense?
It does. It
It's
will
kind of
also
hard.
make me very upset if I put my trust in the wrong person.
There's not that harm in putting trust in people. It's Let us go ask first, and then we can see what is to be done from there. For now, we don't know it enough.
Lead the way.
I hop onto my dinosaur.
Wonderful.
Avast!
I love that image.
Yep. Whilst all of you are doing
PK
that,
loves that image.
we are going to very quickly switch back over to our good friend Michael, who has been hanging out with the captain and the
Yeah.
official from the office. Their argument kind of seems a little null and void now that the rest of the party have said that they're going to deal with this Michael. So they're kind of both awkwardly just standing around now. After a minute or two, the official kind of clears his throat and is like, well, I'd best get back to the office if, and he looks to you, Michael, if any of your people come back with some good news, please let them know to come visit me in the offices.
Of course.
And with that, he leaves.
I look to the captain and be like,
And now all the boring stuff is dealt with. We'll be making sure to get you off to sea soon enough, my good friend. May I ask you, what brings you to Waterdeep as a lucrative form of commerce? It doesn't seem to be very opening at the moment.
And the captain laughs. Ah, my friends, Waterdeep is the biggest city on the Swords Coast. This place has the most people that want the most shit. So we go out, we gather fancy medals, we gather ore, we gather gems and all sorts of good. We bring it back and we make a bloody killing.
So you go out onto the world and bring back the treasures of that said world back to Waterdeep.
Aye.
Good. Well, if I was to say that if my friends managed to get you to go out on such a gathering trip and you return...
If your friends pull that off, I'll offer you whatever you want, buddy.
Please don't offer too much to us. But
I think this city itself, and I leaning just so the captain can hear me, is being a little bit harsh to everyone who lives inside it right now. And we're going to aim to try and change that. It just seems that you're the first people that we've come across that is being stifled.
He gives you a knowing look. It's about time. I think I know what you mean.
Aye, we're about to stand proper against what seems to be a nasty influence across the city. And having a way out into the open world would be an absolute lifeline, if you can understand what I mean.
Well, my friend, it looks like you're currently doing me a favour. If that works out, I'll owe you one. A big one.
If we can make sure that your taxes are lower, and you scratch our back and we scratch yours,
Aye,
for all the correct reasons.
most definitely. If you need to go somewhere, we'll be happy to provide.
Wonderful. So I think we're now on name terms, don't you think? You are Captain...
Captain Albert, and he kind of leans back, spits into his hand, and then holds it out in a good old-fashioned handshake there.
Spit into mine and give him a shake. And I am Michael. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Ah, nice to meet you, Michael. I don't get it, frankly. We were paying what, just over 100 gold for the month for our ships to travel. We could cover that easily.
A modest fee for a grand city.
They're trying to charge us over 300 now. Like, the fuck? We've got the same amount of ships. We're carrying the same kind of cargo. We have the same customers and shit that we always had. Nothing's changed. It's fucking bollocks is what it is.
Don't worry. We'll be getting to the bottom of it for you.
However, if
it will take
if you
time.
do manage it, like I said, I'll owe you one.
Don't worry. There are people inside that government, and I point out towards Castle Waterdeep, who definitely notice things are going wrong as well. So, you're not alone.
And with that, he kind of nods and glances over and goes, "Say, ain't that your people over there?" And walking
So it is.
along the dock, because of course the offices and the ships are right nearby each other, you spot the rest of the party. On that note, I have just seen the time. Do we want to wrap it up there, or do people want to keep going for a little bit longer?
I'm good for like another 30 minutes, but if the rest of the group needs to dip,
Yeah,
depending
it is now 11 o'clock our time, so I don't know if people are working tomorrow, have plans, or what. But it is getting to that time where we do start looking at wrapping up. So if people do want to start wrapping up, let me know.
I can go for another hour, half an hour. It's fine with me.
I am happy to keep going.
Same.
Okay, cool. Well, we won't go on for too much longer, but yeah, we'll continue on just for a little bit more. So yes, Michael, you see the rest of the party stood on the dock, kind of between the ship and the offices, in fact.
Sort of as we approach, I think Rain will kind of sort of approach the captain and say, "Excuse me, sir. I believe we have more understanding of the situation. Although there is a question I need to ask you to help us understand. How much is the harbor asking in tax since the increase?"
Well, it used to be 100 and something odd. Now it's over fucking 300.
300. No, that's not good.
I
Hurrah
would
kinda
turn
looks-
to
He
Yeah,
just
so
looks
turns to
visibly
Rock and
shocked.
Leopard.
He's like,
That bastard.
Yes,
Letty just like straight out says.
yeah. Unfortunately, it seems the harbor master was being dishonest with us. He explained that the increase should only be 15%, which obviously would be much lower than yes, you seem to have been asked for.
Aye,
to-
that's what, piss all? 15%, we could... That's a drop in a bucket. That we could deal with that, but I mean I don't have the exact numbers. That's what the bookworms in the office would deal with. If you
Wait
need
a
those numbers, I'd speak to them.
Wait a moment. The harbour master asked for 100 and something, 130-ish, I guess.
That is what he
You're
claimed
saying
to be
300.
asking for.
So it's not the harbour master that's probably skimming.
there's somebody in between. Parag is he's kind of putting two and two together and goes, so who was asking for 300? Was it an official or was it just somebody just out of nowhere?
I would.
At this, the
I
captain
would
shrugs. You'd have to speak to the bookworms in the office on that one. I don't know.
I think I'll also take the party aside and say, I think it may have been the harbor master, or at least he was aware of what was happening. He seemed very personally agitated at the prospect of not getting the money.
Did he seem
In a way
rather
that was,
rather frightened?
it seemed so. Yes,
I think some lowlifes have gotten into the company.
Either
possibly.
that or Raphael is having an influence.
Or
Also,
there's-
out of character, real quick. Regarding the thugs, regarding one of the rumors, where approximately would that be in relation to where the party is at now?
So you are currently on the actual dock side itself, and from what you've heard, it would actually be around this sort of time, but slightly further to the north, just off the dock side, effectively, that these thugs would be known to roam.
So, where approximately, like, right around here?
Couple of streets over, yeah, maybe kind of, yeah, either up that way or kind of along this path, this road, that's just on the inside of the dock ward there, just kind of slightly further back into the buildings.
And also, just another question out of context here. Is it potential, or is the potential thug sighting and what we're currently going through potentially related? Or is it two separate storylines?
I mean, they were two separate rumours that you had heard. You had heard one, that a company was being impounded for taxes, and two, you had heard from who was it? A fishmonger, that there was some thugs that were kind of roaming the streets in the early afternoons. They may be related, but you don't have anything that indicates that. They were kind of two separate instances of rumours that you had heard.
Okay. And back in.
Wonderful.
Yes, I think it is. From what I understood of the harbor master's reaction, at the very least, he seems to be aware of the discrepancy. I'm not, obviously, I cannot say if this is his doing specifically, or if there is somebody acting within possibly the harbor master's office or in the company. To me, it seems less likely to be the company. Perhaps it doesn't make sense for them to. Their ship to still be here is costing them more money. I think it seems more likely that someone working from the harbor master's position seem to be gaining more. They are holding a company at ransom and saying, give us what we ask for, or you will keep losing money. Especially if they impound their ship, that is a large expense that they would then be incurring. If you think I am misjudging the situation, of course, please tell me. I can't say I am the most educated on these matters, but from what I saw from the harbor master, is that makes sense to me. At the very least, we know that the harbor master was being dishonest to us, I think.
We probably need to go and speak to the. How did you put it? The office rats.
The bookworms in the office.
Yeah, them.
But
Just to
perhaps we
see
could also
who the order came from.
perhaps we could also talk to Doc when he is not in the office. Maybe after he has left work, maybe he would be more likely to be honest with us. If we talk to him on a more personal basis rather than in the office, in case he fears he is being watched there.
I'm not entirely sure where we would be able to find him, but we could tail him, possibly.
This is an option.
Shall we go and talk to the bookworms?
It certainly can't hurt.
Okay then.
If everyone else is in agreement.
I think definitely trying to figure out, because we know somewhere from point A to point B, there's someone taking a cut here. And I think we need to try to figure out just who that individual or individuals are.
Well, then it seems best to come at this problem from two angles. Perhaps we go speak to the bookkeepers at the company first, and then later in the day we wait outside the office for Doc to leave, and then we find a time to speak to him afterwards, to see if we can get a more honest appraisal of the situation from him.
That sounds good.
7
Okay,
makes a horrible bone rattling sound.
And on that note, I'm supposing you all are heading into the actual office there.
Yeah. Ah.
Fantastic. Well, you do see the admin, the official that was speaking to the captain earlier, that is currently inside, kind of staring through some paperwork, kind of leaning over their desk, fully engrossed in what they're doing. Haven't even noticed you walk in.
Rain?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't okay. Yes. Excuse me. Rain is also not a charisma character.
Slightly startled, he kind of snaps his head up and looks and, oh, it's you. So I suppose you have something that you found out.
Oh, possibly.
What?
You said that you were
Sorry.
going to go deal with our taxes, no?
Farak
there
speaks up real
there is-
quick. Allegedly, somebody's taking money somewhere.
What do you mean? And he kind of raises an eyebrow, confused.
Sorry, can I just a quick clarifying question so we understand the situation more clearly? Can you tell us the exact figure you were asked for in relation to these increased taxes?
Yes, certainly. And he takes a moment, looks through his paperwork, and turns back to you. We have had our taxes raised from 120 gold to 324 gold. As I explained to the captain, this is simply preposterous. We may not even make that amount by sending a ship down to somewhere like Chult to gather rare resources and bring it back, let alone some of the local towns just up and down the coast. That... we would have to completely change our shipping tactics, our methods, our hiring and employment responsibilities would all have to change. It's simply something we can't feasibly deal with.
Rain has a stunned moment of like, did he just bring up Chult because I'm obviously from Chult? Is he trying to? What was he going for with that? Anyway,
You can roll an
no.
insight if you are.
Is
He.
Check the vibe. Check the vibe.
is this motherfucker being sus? I got a 6.
No.
He's being sus. I must kill him.
As far as you can tell, he mentioned it because it is one of their shipping locations. It is as simple as that.
Rock.
Yes. Do you have a copy of any documentation that might prove that this is what was being asked of you?
Yes, right here. I have a letter from the dockmaster himself, in fact, that has advised of these price changes. And he pulls out and procures a letter. When he openly shows you all the letter, and as you look at it, it has all of the official markings of the dockmaster's office, as well as the stamp that signifies kind of just the city in general, as well as any other official bits and pieces that would need to be added to such a letter to make it official.
So, can Parag make a check because he was able to review the letter like in detail from the previous encounter? Can he also do like maybe like an insight or something or a check to see if he can notice any noticeable differences?
Yeah, you can absolutely do so. Anyone would be able to make a check at this because he is openly showing it to you all.
Can I do investigation?
Yep. I will say that yeah, anyone that would like to is able to do a investigation to kind of look further at the details of.
Also, I'm gonna guidance myself because that's a spell I have.
Yeah, I mean that's 25 total. That's.
They dropped on the 25. Sheesh.
And it's a regular letter.
Parok looking over it. Looks official. You don't really know what an official letter would look like from this city specifically, but it has all the right markings, you guess. Rain, as you look over this document, you can see that one, it has been signed by the dockmaster himself. The actual handwriting is of the dockmasters. You recognise it from letters from within the dockmaster's office that you wrote previously. The handwriting matches up. Yeah, from what you can tell, and from everything that you can see, this is like a fully official letter. It has the correct header, the correct footer, the correct stamps, the correct symbols, like the icons for the dockmaster's authority. Like it mentions the company by name, the company number, and like every single like official little detail that could be added in there, 100% has been added in there so that it looks as official as possible. If anything, it seems a bit too much. Like it's too official. There's too many little details that have been added to it.
In a suspicious way? In a way of like...
You would notice it. you'd be like, there is a lot here. Like the fact that they've gone to the degree of putting like the company tax number and the company number and the company name when directing it to the company. Like, they may not necessarily put all of those identifying details onto a letter, whereas this one does have that.
Sir,
I know I was trying not to react to the stream, but Mike, my dude, thank you, I love you, Mike, thank you.
Did Mike do a big gamer move?
Yes, Mike did big game move. I love you, Mike, thank you.
Big move. Also, thank you to the person who said they like the character art. I made it. It's
Yeah.
me. I have the power.
Huge props. Huge props.
Yeah. So,
I mean, in fact, if you want, you can take this. I've made a copy of our records. You can take this document if it helps prove something.
of course. And as I take it, I'm gonna have to do an insight check on this guy, like just to see if, just like that's just the thing I'm doing. Can I get advantage because I know something weird is up? And I
You
am.
know something weird is up. You have identified what that weird thing is. I
Mhm.
will allow you to have advantage with this one.
Can I also guidance
No.
myself? I know, obviously.
I
Like,
will allow
guidance
you
is
to
like-
guidance yourself as well. Yes. It goes on ability
I
score.
love-
I suppose I'll let you.
I love having this spell that I can use.
Hmm.
I got 18.
Guidance.
I rolled a 18.
18 total.
Yes.
Honestly, this guy seems to be telling the truth. Like, the company has been given these prices that seem
Mhm.
ridiculously off scale for what they were paying previously. And
Mhm.
genuinely, to continue operating with the smaller ships and only a few ships that travel to different locations for the company, it would really be at the detriment of the company to be able to, like, they may not be able to pay to do this. This could well be
Yeah.
the thing that wrecks the company. So where he's
Yeah,
been
so-
anxious and frustrated and angry previously, they are all genuine feelings. But he hasn't lied or hid anything from you. He has been an open book, which is in contrast to Doc from before.
Yeah. So putting the facts together that I know, like with the checks that I have made. So the vibe that I'm getting is that this letter, which seems to have been sent from the Harbour Master's office, is kind of suspicious in the fact that it seems like maybe it is like a sort of forged, like, it's, you know, like you said, like it's too official, like it's almost like someone's like trying very, very, very hard to make it be like, aha, yes, this is all above board.
Someone,
However, we
yes,
know that
you can
yes,
definitely kind of ascertain that.
yeah, but we definitely know for a fact that the Harbour Master was not being honest with us, and
Yes.
and that obviously what he said to us does not line up with any of the evidence that we've been given since. So
I mean,
putting this information together, it makes sense that either he has done this himself, or he is aware that this is happening and is anxious about possibly being implicated.
I mean,
so
sure.
this is me out of character.
Mhm.
Just to kind of like dip in. So Doc said 138 to us.
Mhm.
So he was actually like fully saying like this is the amount. So he would have surely known that if we were to go and investigate this further, it would come up with that ludicrous amount. So maybe it was someone that had access to all his things. And might have been like
I don't know if Doc himself is like the quote
Yeah.
unquote mastermind, but like
I
he is
don't think
aware
it
that
is him.
he is aware that something is going on. Is definitely the vibe I was getting. Like he like I said, if he's not responsible, he probably knows who is responsible. Like, and he is
Nori,
either
my
scared
friend,
of being
thank you
implicated
so
or
much for
scared
coming
of
in with
them.
that raid. I appreciate
I
it,
kind
buddy.
of want to say
Wags,
that it's
the
the
resub, I
receptionist,
super
but
appreciate that as
because
well.
Serb didn't
Because
have
Have a
character name
wonderful
for the
day. I will
receptionist.
be back
Yeah,
to
because
actually
because
speak and
they
chat
were
with
the
all of
only
you
other
in
NPC
just
we
a moment. We are
encountered.
just wrapping up our
It's the
D&D
office.
session here.
It must be them. Let's see. I'm sorry. We killed them inside.
Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, that's my out of character like summation of the information that we have as I believe it.
Yeah.
Maddie is officially staking her honor on the imposter was in the harbor master's office the whole time. I saw them vent a moment.
I love it. Armed with your new evidence provided to you by the admin in the office, the information given to you by both the admin and the captain of the ship, you decide, I suppose, that you're heading back towards Doc's office.
Before we do, can I just do a quick glance around to see if there's anyone kind of like looking at our movements or just like seeing who's traveling and...
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me there.
Come on, don't fuck me now. 11.
11? I mean, you don't spot anyone that's kind of paying any of you any attention. I mean, there are people walking by that kind of glance your way, but just as you would if you were walking down the road and someone walked past you, you kind of glance up at them and then carry on. Nothing untoward. There doesn't seem to be anyone that's paying any particular attention to any one of you.
Cool.
As we leave the offices, I will turn to the party and like with this like copy of the letter, say to them, "This is proof that Doc lied to us. We can't be sure if he is the one doing this, but I think we should talk to him after he leaves his office. He either knows who is responsible, or he is the one responsible. So I think it would be best if we speak to him and speak to him more privately about this. And this is evidence that he lied to us."
All right. Just out of character, I gotta head out.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
absolutely. I was actually planning basically once you guys decided what your next plan of action was, I was going to wrap it up and would pick up with that next course of action with the next session. So by the sounds of it, the next thing that you folks are planning to do is once it reaches the end of the working day, as it were, and Doc leaves his office, you are going to tail him and make contact with him once he's left said office.
Yes, if that is agreeable to everybody.
Okie dokie. Fine by me.
We're about to break some. We're about to break some knuckles.
Nice. Well, awesome. I will end it on that note then. You have just left the office, had your discussion outside with the proof in hand, and made the decision that during the next session, you will be trailing Doc after he leaves work and finding a private place where you can have a conversation about the fact that he has lied to you.
Cat's gonna turn into a wolf and eat him.
Don't tell Anara that. She may actually do
it. Knowing me, I will probably forget. You'll have to remind me. What I originally want to do is that I want to find a cool looking stick and just use a stick and bonk him on the head.
I mean, you know.
Can I keep this?
Could happen. Could happen.
Stuff.
What was there was a PlayStation 2 game that was like that. Like the wolf carried the ink pen. What was it?
And then booped him?
Use the. It was like a. I can't even think what it is.
I have no idea. It's not ringing
It's
any
like
bells.
a-
Are you talking about Okami?
Yeah, Okami. That's what it was.
I'm not-
They would use that in the attacks. Use the ink stylus.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay, got ya. I'm just gonna go
Basically,
speak to chat. I will be right back, folks.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I hope that all of you have enjoyed a little taste of our D&D campaign here. We will be picking it up in 2 weeks' time. Before we do end, I just want to say, Nori, Wags, everyone who came over with Nori's raid there, I appreciate you all coming in. You are some wonderful, wonderful people. Of course, during our D&D streams here, we don't respond straight away because we do try and keep the immersion with the actual story that's being told, which is why a lot of our sound alerts and channel points and all that sort of jazz is all switched off for the D&D streams. But yeah, regardless of whether sound alerts are on or anything like that, I do always appreciate people dropping in, coming to hang out. So yeah, you guys are absolutely wonderful. We are actually going to go ahead and give Mr. Nori a shout out here. Because of course he is a most wonderful human being. He has been nothing but supportive in regards to anything that I've been doing since we've started playing games together. We have had an absolute blast doing all sorts and planning all sorts, and I am so incredibly excited for future plans as well. Whilst we're on the subject, we will go ahead and give our very good friend Mr. Waggleton a shout out as well. So let me go ahead and hit that one there. Wags is a wonderfully wicked streamer. We have so much fun whenever we play games. I have so much fun just watching his stream. He has me in fits of laughter constantly. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Again, whilst we're on the subject of shoutouts, we are just going to give a shout out and show some love for our players tonight. We have had Razlion, a very good friend of mine, joining us. We have had Farthing and Fox, aka Maddie, who has been joining us once again. We also have Painted Kitten, a most wonderful streamer, who I have known for a really quite a while now. It's been a hot minute since we first met, and it's been a brilliant time the entire time. So if you've enjoyed Painted hanging out and playing along in the session with us, go ahead and show her some love as well. The same can be said about our good friend Lightning Hound, who has also been joining us, playing as Parok, the big Goliath warrior. And of course, we are going to show some love to our very good friend Blue Potato Cat, who has also joined us for said D&D session, playing Inara. So we are back up now to 5 players in our D&D campaign. This is going to be the maximum. And what we will be looking to do is running every other week from this week. And as long as we have 3 players available for the session, we will be looking to go ahead. That way we'll most likely be running every other week. We'll have the sessions happening a little bit more consistently for you folks, so that you can keep up with the story as it grows and evolves. Well, it's been a blast for myself. We'll drop back into Discord just to see if anyone else wants to say goodbye, and then we will wrap it up. We will send a raid out and we will go show some love, folks.
The way, and then
I'm
bam,
just wrapping
first-
up stream here, folks. I just wanted to see if anyone had anything that they wanted to say to stream before I sent a raid out and finished up there.
Just
Uh-huh.
Happy New Year and
Happy
thanks
New
for
Year,
coming
happy
along.
holidays, and hope you'll have a wonderful night.
Always make sure your harbour masters aren't being swindled.
Yeah.
To everyone
Or doing
in
the
chat,
swindling. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a heckin' clean squeak.
to everyone in chat, I live inside your walls now.
It
Prepare
do be
yourself.
like that. It's just the way it is, folks. But yeah, it's been wonderful fun. Players, I hope you guys have had as much fun as I have.
Yeah, it's been great.
I've loved that you guys have really kind of gotten invested in this. This one little storyline that was just a couple of rumours or like
We-
these bits and pieces that are fitting together, and you've just taken it and ran with it, and I love that.
We
I'm
will
excited for
punish
next
Doc
session.
for his sins.
Tax simulator.
I am super looking forward to our next session in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, with that, we are gonna send a raid out, so stick around for it, folks. We're gonna go say hello to our friend Ryan, Ryan Ruger that is, who's playing some form of 2D side-scrolling platformer. He is a speedrunner, so he may well be speedrunning said game. I don't know what said game is, but I'm sure it'll be a blast and a lot of fun over there. So yeah, that's it from me, folks, and I will catch you all next time. Bye!
Bye bye.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time.
Okay, question.
Raid